ladies and gentlemen, we're here for the ARC Formula 2 Championship, Race 7 at the Singapore Grand Prix. Things might sound a little bit unusual. Yeah, I am normally your Formula 1 commentator, but I'm doing double duty today, as I'm also co-commentating the AF2 round with AJ Knickel.
Hello.
And, we had the rehearsal. So I waited literally 60 seconds on the qualifying time.
Well, yeah, basically right now we're watching Ollie Durston, who has changed his PSM, do his qualifying lap, actually, and he has gotten an invalidation, I believe, and is restarting. So this has been a very exciting start to this, obviously.
As a Swiss carpenter, I think will be the first person to actually make a lap, and he's not invalidated.
Okay.
It's a lot of curb there, that's a bit of a wall, and he has to abandon that. Alright, eventually, ladies and gentlemen, we will have a valid lap time set.
Is this Tyler McIntosh coming for a valid one?
No, it's not valid.
So he's starting his valid lap now, then. Interesting choice at Singapore to be out on the soft tire and not qualify on the medium. Because the medium here is significantly better than the soft in, like, every way.
Not a single person on the track right now is on the mediums.
That is really weird to me. We have a yellow in some sector here. Adam Pellick has spun it on the start-finish line and crossed the finish line like Ricky Bobby, setting a 1:42.7.
That'd have been a really good lap on F1 2016.
Honestly, I'm pretty sure that the laps are a little better than that on 2013. Oops.
Well, those are certainly the laps I was running back on 2016. Well, that was also on the mediums, which then therefore tells me that the game was lying to me, and... yeah, it was. Half the grid is medium tires, and the game is like, oh, they are on softs. No. Thank you, game.
So yeah, that's James has set his lap on the medium compound then. Tyler's rear is just all over the place. .35.6, not too bad.
And for first attempts, and also taking into account the fact that he had to make a second time around because he invalidated the first try.
Well, here's Ollie Durston coming through the bridge section now. He's got Adam Pelk right behind him. Or maybe that's Craig. I think that's Craig, actually.
That's Adam Pelk, because Adam Pelk... that's not Adam Pelk, because Adam Pelk is around again at the end of the bridge section, so...
Interesting. Another yellow in sector 1 and 2.
I think that's McIntosh getting out of the way for someone.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. Oh my god, there's so much wing on the track at the end of the, right before the tunnel section.
That was also from Adam's car.
Wow.
I hope for his sake this is not a repeating pattern for me.
Well, we've seen it 3 times now. I think there's some sort of pattern here happening. 34.8 is not a bad time. I'm excited to see what kind of racing we get here at the front if Ollie Durston is setting pole times here. I'm really interested, actually, to see what Connor Setchel does, because he's not left the pits yet, and that's very weird to me, because there's 9 minutes left in this session.
Also saw Joseph Cuzzy join this session a few moments ago.
It's going to be a real letdown for him not being able to be in the AlphaTauri. He's going to have to pick a different car. I think the saturation is a little too high on my display here because I can never tell the difference between the Ferrari and the Alfa Romeo.
Or how about the Williams versus the Alpine versus the Red Bull. Oh my god.
Like, you cannot seriously tell me Matthew Stott's color icon is different than Ollie Durston's. They're just a little bit too close.
All red dots are the same.
In this game, anyway. So we're watching Matthew Stott's here. I don't know whether he's on a fast lap or not. No, he's definitely not on a fast lap. So Craig Knock might be on a quick one here. We'll ride along with him.
I don't think he is.
Definitely not on a quick one. Really boring out here on the track right now, actually. Everyone's in the pits. Or headed back to the pits. Wow. Oh! Somebody's getting ready to be released. Oh wait, no, that was just the Mercedes pit crew coming. No, it was somebody getting ready to be released. I think that's Tyler McIntosh on his way out. It is! There's somebody behind him too. Who is it? Who is it?
It's an Alpine.
Carps is on his out lap. Who's ahead right now? Carps is ahead. We'll ride along with Carps first.
You know, I know his name is like short for Carpenter, but I can't read that name and think, oh, it's the fish from South Carolina.
Okay, Riker.
This is what I do to get through boring qualifying sessions, alright? I just make dumb jokes.
I'm personally just in shock that this has been such a boring qualifying session. You expect there to be carnage at a street circuit, but like nothing has happened at all.
Because I think people just keep getting invalidations or making small wall taps and breaking their wing off, and so they don't really have the option. My guess, you know.
So we'll set up here for a lap with Dylan Swiss Carpenter. And he is coming around the last corner. Gonna start his flyer all the way to the outside down the straightaway. And we'll head off down into turn 1. Careful not to get an invalidation on this curb here. A little slow out of that corner, but, you know, a properly clean first few corners. Now the weird part about the track I've noticed here, Riker, is right through that corner that we've just rode through with Dylan Swiss Carpenter, it kind of bottoms out, so when you get on the throttle you get a little bit more load into the rear suspension and it kind of wants to send you around a lot of the time, so I think that's going to be a spot to watch for people, especially as they get back onto the throttle. Saying that, there's a yellow in Sector 1, let's see if that was a commentator's curse, I'm not entirely sure.
I think it just stops getting out of the way for somebody on their lap.
It stopped still out on the track. Interesting.
Yeah.
So we're going to continue right along with Dylan Swiss Carpenter here. And actually it kind of looks like Tyler McIntosh is catching a bit on this lap. He's had a pretty quick lap himself. So we'll continue to ride along. And he's tapped the wall a little bit on the entry to that corner.
And a lot on that one, so that
will be the end of his lap. We'll ride along with Tyler for the last part of this. So Tyler comes out of that corner. Do you remember that wall exit there from the past few games before this one? How that little piece could like drive you up the wall if you were... Okay.
Yep. And there's the death curbs doing death curb things.
I just think he got in there a little bit too hot. The front wanted to go in, but the rear didn't.
And Connor Setchell went right off the track. The game did invalidate him though, so...
36.7. Not so bad. Not so good, but 2 seconds off the pace. I'm sure he'll come out looking for a little bit more than that. I mean, he's on the medium too. I think that's important to remember. I'm pretty sure Ollie Durston's lap was set... was it set on the medium? It was, wasn't it?
It was.
Okay, so basically, what I'm hearing is that Connor's not going to be happy with his lap.
You know, there's not a single driver with a registered lap that ran it on their, like, on the soft tires.
It's because you literally do not want to do that.
And yet, Adam Pelk is doing that. He's on an outlap on
Adam
soft
Pelk
tires.
is built different.
Adam Pelk is known for making the wrong tires at Singapore, so...
Yes, this is actually, for all you new ARC people, about, what was it, 3 years ago, 4 years? Was that F1 2017 or 18?
I believe it was 17.
17. What tire compound was that? Well, he went on to the...
1, 2, 3, 4 fresh wet tires at Singapore.
And weren't the rest of us all on...
Inners.
We were all on inters about to transition into softs. That's a memory that you've just brought back. I'm really happy that you've brought that back. That was a good moment.
I'm sure Adam Pelk isn't.
Saying that, I mean, Adam Pelk is one of our most experienced drivers in ARC, and while he hasn't really logged a whole lot of laps in the F1 leagues, he does have a lot more success to his name in ARC than a lot of other drivers can say they have, so maybe he can come through with something.
I think of him as more of an endurance driver than anything.
I do too, but I mean, he's gotten really good at keeping it clean and getting his cars to the end of the race, and one thing I noticed about his driving recently, specifically his outing at Road America, was that he's really, really good at, if the car steps over the edge, reeling it back without losing the car. And whether that transitions over here, I think that remains to be seen, but we can assume that at least a little bit of that'll transition over. His lap's been fairly clean, too. I'm excited to see what this lap time is. It may not be pole, but I think it's going to be enough to make him happy.
He's got to complete it first. It's like ahead of ourselves. Definitely still hit a curb or two and wreck. I believe Connor Setchell is on the track at the moment as well. He's running a second attempt at a lap. Trying to get anything he can, but considering he's on the same mediums he ran the last lap on, I don't think he's going to get a lot.
Now, what I'm noticing is that, I don't know if you're noticing this, but Connor Hannock has finished installing his update and is in the lobby in the Williams. So while he will not set a lap, he will be
He's in the race.
In the race, which is big news for Tyler, who said before the race he would very much like a teammate after being without one for the last 3 weeks. And speaking of Tyler, he's on an outlap, and I really do not think he's going to get to the start-finish line with 30 seconds left. In fact, I'm not even really sure why he's out on the track right now.
He might just be trying to get warm-up laps in.
James Sands has also just left the pits. I don't understand. And speaking of which, Connor Hannock has also left the pits with 4 seconds left. And he's spun across the track on exit. Interesting.
I don't get it. Also, Billy Targi is on the track. Craig Knock is on the... There's a bunch of outlaps. Hey guys, the session is over.
I'm pretty sure Joseph Cozy is the only one actually on a fast lap right now.
Seems like it.
Maybe Connor Setchell's on one, but I'm completely unsure.
No.
Oh. Well, based on that back off, I'm going to assume Joseph Cozy is not on a fast lap either. Well, this has been a really, really bland end to qualifying.
This has been a very bland qualifying, just kind of in general.
This has been one of the worst qualifyings I've watched since commentating. Wow. I mean, it is what it is. Not everyone can be a banger, but What am I even Oh my
I
god.
think we had like exactly one banger. So
Speaking of bangers, if you were riding along with Joseph Cozy there, which I'm not sure if you were or not, but the entire stream was, you watched him pull into the pits, and as he slowed down to pull into the pits, you could see Adam Pelk doing a perfect spin past him, facing him on the racing surface, so that was fun.
smile for the camera, Pelk.
So is it possible Craig Knox on a lap? No, I don't think he is. I think that's AI.
No, that's a player. You totally missed the corner.
Okay, interesting. So he is on a lap right now.
Yeah, he is in control of this vehicle. Better or worse.
I didn't even realize he got around in time because it still said outlap as the timer finished.
I wonder if we're getting that bug that they had. Oh, he invalidated it.
Oh, that's a rip.
I wonder if we're getting that bug we used to have where our time is decent.
Yeah, I guess there's actually the chance that that's happening, isn't there? What about James Sands? Is he on a lap?
He's kind of driving like he is. He's 4/10 up on his previous run.
Maybe we do have a timer bug. Interesting.
It's like, because this time remaining is to be believed, he has 11 seconds to finish the lap.
This is very interesting. I'm not really sure what's going on right now. Well, he got his lap in, so...
And it also just loaded in all of the AI drivers.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's happening at the moment.
It's also stuck at 1 second.
Yeah. Oh!
Okay, now we're moving on, alright. Finished game.
So, our driver, Tyler McIntosh, has alerted us in the comments that we do indeed have a timer bug. So, ignore that commentary. We had no idea. Oh my. Okay. So, Ollie Durston on the pole. Good result for him. On the medium tire as well. I'm very surprised to see Tyler and Craig and Adam and Joseph all on the soft. A really, really weird field right now. Like,
hopefully the AF1 race is a little more orthodox. I don't know if I can take this twice in one day.
You'll get your practice in this one, don't worry. You will get your practice in. AF2 is always fun.
Even if a little confusing.
AF2 always confuses me.
And maybe possibly having to tap into James Hunt by the end of it, who knows. So the session starts in 15 seconds, allegedly.
If we can be...
Right.
If we can at all be trusting of this.
I trust it about as far as I can throw it. I can throw a game disc pretty far, so...
Do you want to demonstrate?
No.
I think we should host the Arc Olympics, where we throw gaming-related items.
Good, then I can finally throw Connor Suchel out a window.
I don't think you can say that on stream, Riker. Anyway, ignoring that. We are on a formation lap right now, and we will take you through the field, driver by driver. And update you on their current point situation as I bring up the data here. We are going to be in for...
actually reading off the points battle. No point in doing that in AF1.
So excited to watch this with you, Riker. Anyway, our first place driver, Ollie Durston, is currently sitting 4th in the standings on 49 points. He is 7 back, actually, from the 4th place starter, Matthew Stotts, who has had a few bad results in the last few races. Namely, China was a pretty bad one for him as he spun out of the last corner and crashed out of that race. He's been trying to recover from that. I don't think he was at Japan. No, he was at Japan, now that I remember that. And he was on the pace for a bit, and then the race just never really went his way. He ended up crashing out of that one as well, so he'll end up having to try and bring this back today. If we move up 2 spots into the 2nd place grid position, Tyler McIntosh is currently only 6 points down on our 7th place starter, Connor Setchell, who won the first 3 races right before Tyler McIntosh claimed the next 3. So here we're heading into race 7, and they're pretty much in a dead heat. So we're going to see which one of them can come out on top. Obviously, Tyler's starting on the soft tires in a much different position than the rest of them. Craig Knock is actually our 3rd place starter, and he is currently down in, I believe, 7th or 8th in points. Let me check that quickly. 9th in points on 30. 3 back from Tyler Crabtree, who could not make it, unfortunately, and 5 back from our 8th place starter, Joseph Cozy. So this could be a good battle. Other namely starters, we have James Sands, who's had a fairly good season, and Adam Pelk, who is making his first start, as well as Mo Altai, who's making his first start as well. So we'll ride along here from the TV cam, and lights are out, and we will wait. Here, we are now starting.
Now the 5 red lights are out.
And off into turn 1 we go. Middle of the pack, a little bit of a stack up. Looks like the Ferrari has spun. I think that was Matthew Stotts.
Forced Stotts onto the inside curb, and around you went.
Yeah, that was a little bit tighter than I'm sure Stotts wanted to see. And riding along with Connor Hannock, he's on the inside of Dylan Swiss Carpenter, nearly loops it, but he saved the rear end. Dylan Swiss Carpenter got actually a pretty poor run out of there. Yeah, he's missing a wing. I'm actually just catching that. I didn't realize he was missing his entire front end. But not a good start for him.
And Hannock has found another curb, and surprisingly, that's not a DNF, considering the way he hit that tire.
Yeah, he did hit that fairly hard, actually. But anyway, we'll ride along with Adam Pelk now, who's dropped a position to Mo Altai. Mo Altai actually is pretty quick. I'm excited to see what he can do in this race as he gets a little bit up to speed here with these medium tires. I'm expecting some good stuff from him, but more importantly, we should ride along with the driver who's trying to make his way up to the lead of the point standings. So Tyler McIntosh, P2, and chasing down Ollie Durston, but not really seeming to make any headway. I'm a little bit anxious for him to see when these soft tires start to fall off, because it won't be long, even though it sounds stupid to say a lap into this. These tires are not very good here. They do tend to overheat fairly quickly, and if he uses up his stuff with any sort of urgency, he's not going to really have much of a chance to come back from that. As we've got another spinner in the back, I believe Adam Pelk is around. He is. And Connor Hannock is also around. Both of them are not having very good outings at this moment. And Adam Pelk has spun again. I believe he might have a puncture. Or... nope, Adam Pelk is out of the race. Yeah, he is. He's definitely got a puncture now. Wow.
He's very good at keeping his car clean, huh?
Yeah.
Commentator's curse.
I don't even think... the commentator can only curse so hard, Riker. At some point, the driver has to take some responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we'll ride along with Connor Setchell here, who has dropped 1.1 back to Craig Knock. And I think that the big storyline here for the VSC is just how bad the Delta has been on this game since release. It tends to climb up and then drop down at the last second without telling anyone. So I think the major thing we're going to have to watch right here is who gets a drive-through. We'll spin the lucky wheel and see who comes away with one. as we're watching, I believe, Tyler McIntosh drop way... Actually, that's Ollie Durston dropping way back, because I'm assuming his delta is saying something differently to Tyler's, to Craig's, to Connor's, to Joseph's. Ollie's speeding up and then slowing down. It's the thing about these VSCs, they're unpredictable. You don't actually know where the delta is. Sometimes it's best to just play it safe, even if you're... Like, look, he has just basically stopped. Probably because it just dropped on him. Yep, that's exactly what happened. Right before this tends to go away, the delta just drops. So...
Well, you can just turn VSs off and just have regulars.
Is that an option?
I don't know. I wish it were. It isn't.
It'd be nice if it was just regulars. Reduced regular, that'd be quite nice. Now, as we're watching with Connor Settle, I'm actually going to move up to Craig Knock here, because he seems to be hunting down Tyler McIntosh a little bit here.
Behind that, we have Sands and Kazi fighting through the middle part of Sector 1. Kazi
This could be a spicy battle.
Now it broke Sands into, I think that's, what, turn 6, I think?
It's a turn. I have no idea which turn it is. I haven't researched my track map before this one. A little bit of lag there. I think Sands is lagging a little bit. I don't know if you just saw that, but he bounced off the wall on my screen and then went into the back of Joseph Cozy, so hopefully that lag does not become an issue for him.
That is right up the gearbox of Mo Altai. Trying to recover from having been spun on the first corner.
Luckily he's on that medium tire, so he shouldn't have to worry too much about the overheating.
Not yet, no.
One thing I know is that when I get in this race in about an hour and a half, an hour and 15 minutes time, I will not be touching the soft tire unless there is a safety car with 2 laps to go. It's not worth my time.
Is in the pit lane, so something tells me his tires have already gone off the cliffs.
It's not a good strategy.
No, he actually had damage, so...
That's not, well, I mean, probably due in part to the fact he was on the soft tire overheating. So at this point in the race, who's your pick to win?
Well, the part of me that knows how F1 normally goes is telling me Ollie Durst. He's ahead, so... And with McIntosh out of the picture, it is a 2-second deficit to Craig Knock, who's on the wrong compound, so...
That's a very good choice right here. I don't know. I think I'm expecting that Connor Setchel is going to come out and make something happen in this race. I think that it's been important to him this week to try and make something happen, since his last 3 races have been less than ideal. Actually, we just see Mo Altai crash here. I'm going to ride along with Tyler McIntosh. That's a full safety car we have now. We're going to take a look and see what we have for a view on this. This could really help Tyler. This could really, really help Tyler. So we're going to have a bunch of people in the pits. Connor Setchel stays out, actually. James Sands also stays out. Matthew Stott stays out. Billy Targi stays out. And Tyler McIntosh, if he makes the correct call here, has stayed out. And he's actually only jumped 1 car in the pits, so that didn't help him as much as we expected it to, but...
You will have the mediums to the hard tires on the 2 ahead of him, though.
This is also true.
sort of scratching my head at Ollie's call here to run the mediums, hard tires. I don't know why I do that. I always do that at least once a race. I get the names of the tires confused.
I wish that they would bring back the colorful tires from 2018. I loved that.
The Mega Softs or whatever.
Yeah, what was it? The Ultra Soft, Super Soft, Soft, Medium, Hard, and Super Hard?
Yeah, I could have sworn they also had a Hyper Soft at some point.
It was the Hyper Soft. Yeah, the Hyper Soft was the pink one. And Ultra Soft was purple. Super Soft was
the reds, softs,
red,
the yellows.
White, medium, orange, hard, and then the super hard were a light blue. That one was never used. I wish it would have been used. I think it'd be funny seeing a blue tire that wasn't a wet tire. Kind of miss it, actually. I really miss the rainbow tires. Bring them back. Bring back the Pirelli Rainbow. Change.org.
So apparently Joseph Cosier is just DNF'd.
I did not even catch that, because you don't expect that under safety car. We'll ride along here with Connor Hannock and see if what we can see up here, but I don't really know where I'm looking for this.
He already drove past it. The thing already vanished off the track.
Interesting. So for anybody watching this, if you're interested in signing up for Auto Racing Connected, you can follow the links in our YouTube channel banner. We have links to our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, website, and more in that. You can sign up via the sign-up form on our website, found via that link in our channel banner. And yeah, if you're interested in racing, we are going full blast toward 2022 with a 16-race season starting in January on this game. Open to 3 separate tiers with 3 separate levels of assists. And yeah, should be exciting. So if you think you are wanting to race with us, we will be in for a very good time. Tier 3 will be at 12 p.m. BST on Saturday. Tier 2 will be at 12 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, 5 p.m. BST on Saturday. Tier 2 will be at 7 p.m. BST and 2 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, and Tier 1 is at 4 p.m. Eastern and 9 p.m. BST on Saturday. So if those are things that interest you whatsoever, please sign up on our website, and we will get you signed up as soon as we can.
Now for a word from our sponsors.
If you're serious about it. Think the safety car will be in this time?
I hope so. I know how much longer I can improvise.
Yeah, this is my mistake entirely. When setting up the lobby, I totally forgot to put safety cars on low frequency, which is what we agreed to switch to this week because we didn't want multiple safety cars. However, I forgot to save my settings, so I guess we're gonna have one more week in F2 anyway of having full safety cars, which is a big...
It is indeed in this lap, though, thank God.
That is a big oopsie from me. My apologies to all the viewers.
Well, there's to me. I'm the one that has to talk through it. Can't go over point standings in AF1 because the points lead is greater than my own IQ, so...
I think you can still go over them. Oh! Connor Setchel's out of the race! Oh my God. That is a huge swing in the championship.
Championship implications.
And actually, that is very, very similar to what I saw last night. I did a different league race, and Kyler Boggs, one of our AF1 competitors and my fellow co-commentator from this series on any other given week, did something very similar to that. It's really easy to loop the rear on a restart if your tires aren't properly warm. We watch Craig Knox shut the door on Tyler McIntosh here. He's going to be jumping for joy seeing Connor Setchell. Well, he'll do it in his head. I'm sure he's not going to come out and say, I'm jumping for joy that he crashed, but he'll do it in his head.
Oh, I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he did that. That's not a passing zone, McIntosh. He's not.
He's putting it out there that he's getting ready to pass. Actually, Craig Knock very nearly overshot that. We are watching the difference between the medium and the hard right now, and I think McIntosh is getting a little bit antsy because he is getting the traction on Craig Knock in every single zone, but he just cannot make it work. And if he wants to not be behind him for all of these chicanes coming up, he has got to make a move in this corner, and I don't think he's going to have the pace to do it. Craig Knock goes a little bit deeper than he would want to again. Tyler McIntosh just peeking his nose out a little bit to the left there, and Craig Knock is going to say, I don't believe that you're going to go for that. And we're going to come through this chicane here. This is 3 corners to go on this lap. Tyler McIntosh, okay run out of the corner, a little bit sideways. He's going to try and get on the power as quickly and efficiently as possible here. DRS is still not available on this lap, so we're not going to see any DRS-assisted passes, which is probably going to drive Tyler McIntosh a little bit crazy here. We're watching this front pack really group up. James Sands up at the front. He is defending for his life right now over Matthew Stotts. We have Ollie Durston catching up to the pack as well. And right now we're watching Tyler McIntosh.
For the lead.
Matthew Stotts is going for the lead, and from this camera angle, we're watching him go for it as well as Tyler McIntosh making a move on Craig Knock right now. Both of them attempting overtakes around the outside. Tyler McIntosh is going to make it stick and take that position. Craig Knock goes a little deep. Matthew Stotts takes the lead. Tyler McIntosh cannot do what Matthew Stotts just did and falls back into line in P5, and he's going to have to wait a little bit longer for that one. Action-packed first start to that, or first part to that lap. So now Matthew Stotts is going to have to try and get away as fast as he possibly can here. Oh! And Tyler McIntosh has lost his wing. Craig Knock gets a little bit squirrely on the exit of the corner, and just Tyler could not slow down in time. I don't know what happened exactly, but he's not going to be good for Tyler McIntosh. He's going to have to replace his wing and go onto the hard tire and hope that he has some sort of saving grace here. And we're going to ride along with now Craig Knock, who may have rear end damage. I'm not entirely sure about that whole situation, but
yeah, I forgot about the thing now.
We are actually watching Dylan Swiss Carpenter, who hasn't really been talked about in this race all that much, which arguably is a nice change of pace for us in the last few events. He hasn't been talked about all that much in this race, and we've seen another accident. Safety car. Tyler McIntosh heads into the pits, and he's going to be saved. Oh my! And we are down to 7 drivers in this race. This has been absolutely insane, and Connor Hannock, who we've not really talked about all that much in this race besides his few spins, going to come away with 6 points at the absolute least in this race, and we're only on lap 8. That's going to be good for him.
This is going to look less like a race on Formula 1 and more like a game of Twisted Metal, I think.
We do like a good Twisted Metal race from time to time. And I think Matthew Stott's spin just proves for Connor Setchell how easy it is to loop that car there. You have to wonder, for both of them, whether Matthew Stotts being at the pressure to perform after a few bad races, or Connor Setchell the pressure to take the championship fight to Tyler McIntosh, how much that pressure is making a difference in these mistakes.
Probably is, but that's one of the keys to being a racing driver, is to just ignore that pressure to the best of your ability. That was one thing that I used to think I was very good at. Once I got into the race, I didn't really take pressure from anything. If you're behind me, you're trying to fake passes on me, I'm just like, alright, you do you back there. And if you decide to send it on me and off yourself, that's different.
I think that's the beauty of our penalty system too, is you don't really have to put pressure on yourself for that kind of thing, because you know that the penalties will be dealt with.
James Sands actually hits from the lead.
That's an interesting engine sound that this game just gave us from James Sands as he downshifts and goes rrrr.
Yeah.
This race has been pretty good so far for the little bits of racing we've had in between the safety cars. I can't even lie. Like, the racing itself has been pretty good. I can't be too upset with it. Tyler McIntosh is now going back down into the pits, presumably for a hard tire. Either that or his wing didn't repair. But I can't imagine that his wing didn't repair. I'm not sure. We're going to have a Team 44 double stack here, both the Williams cars heading into the pits. And actually, recently, Tyler McIntosh has signed a contract for the first tier for next season, so long as he... And James Sands has DNF'd, catching up to the pack. Not been a very good race for the New Horizons racing team this week. Our current current constructors leaders. Yeah, really not a good week for them. I mean, coming off of the back of a few penalty allegations from last time's race out in Japan, and still under investigation for AF1 in Japan last week, and now both cars out in the first 10 laps at Singapore. I think that they're going to want to try and regroup at 4 Eastern, 9 p.m. BST for ARC Formula 1. Yeah. But yeah, back to the topic I was talking about before. Tyler McIntosh signed a contract with Team 44 earlier in the week to come to the first tier of AF1. And so that's going to be something to look forward to for him. It'll mark his first full-time return to a series in January when that rolls around, since Season 7 for Formula 1. And we're currently in Season 9. And he actually racked up 4 wins in Season 7. Most notable of which I believe was Spa, where he made a second-to-last lap pass for the lead. And I'm sure he's going to want to get back to trying to win some races.
I remember that race at Spa. That was back when I was still racing, and he actually won on my outside up Blanchimont, and I about needed a new fire stewed.
I remember that one really well because I was the person he passed because I crashed in Blanchimont. The curb was higher than I thought it was, and unfortunately the wall was also quite hard.
As now every single car that's still running is on hard compound, so there's no discrepancies there.
Tire strategy? What tire strategy? So this has turned into a real race of attrition. We've had 6 cars crash, we're down to 6 cars in, and I think it'd be really funny if we finished with 1 car. Start
playing the J-Ray OST in the background, because this is starting to look more like Wreckfest.
You know, speaking of crashed cars, and segueing into something I saw on Reddit a few nights ago, I wonder how the standings would look in this series and AF1 if we had a linear point system that didn't reward the winners so much, as it was just position by position, they all meant the same. I'd be kind of interested to see what it looked like if the winner got 20 and last place got 1.
NASCAR standings be like.
I don't know, I feel like it'd be kind of interesting to see, you know? Does that make sense to say?
Sort of like all of those videos that are like, what would happen if we had the 2006 point system in 2020?
I know, but like, I feel like in practice a linear point system would be really cool. And there's been some wing. Yeah, there's wing missing. I believe Carps has lost some wing. Carps has gotten a 5-second penalty. No, sorry, Craig Knock has gotten a 5-second penalty.
Well,
Carps is missing... Yeah, Carps got a 3-second time penalty. Carps is missing some wang.
I don't think you can say that on stream.
I can say whatever I want on stream. Unless it goes against YouTube terms of service, in which case I cannot say it on stream.
Or rather, it would be ill-advised to say it on stream.
I wouldn't say anything that went against YouTube terms of service anyway on stream. I probably wouldn't even
Press
say it
X
off
to
stream.
doubt.
Tyler McIntosh, P3. 1.2 seconds back, catching our 5-second penalty person, who I'm assuming probably is going to get that removed, because based on what I saw, it looked like Dylan Swiss Carpenter ran into him due to a stack up. I'm not entirely sure what happened. Depends on if Ollie Durston was holding speed or not, but not a fun restart. We're on to lap 12, and timing-wise, it is currently 3 o'clock Eastern, 1 hour to AF1, and we're only 12 laps into this race. So, my next question, Riker, is do you think this race will be finished in time for AF1?
We might have to pull a NASCAR. I might literally have to call the race like 8 laps early, because we're going to overrun AF1.
This is something. I mean, we're looking at 1 minute 33 second lap times at the fastest, and on average 1 minute 36. And how many laps left do they have? Over 15. Nearly 20. I think 19?
I think it's 18.
18? We're looking at 28 minutes to finish this race if it goes green all the way.
And based on the race so far, I'd be surprised.
I would also be quite surprised if that happened. Speaking of quite surprising, Connor Hannock up into P5 on 10 points at the moment as we watch Dylan Swiss Carpenter get his nose replaced. And he will get that nice and sturdy on the front of the car and head back out onto the track. And we will ride along with Connor Hannock, just see how he's doing, our weekly Connor Hannock check-in. And he looks like he's doing quite well, and we will move on to the next car.
Hey,
we've got a spin! Craig Knock!
Dying out of the Anderson Bridge section.
He's backwards in the track. He's trying to get going again here, but that is going to be massive damage for him. That car is pretty toasted, actually.
I'm sure McIntosh needs a new fire suit now.
I don't know if anybody on the stream is noticing this, but okay, there we go. My camera was not able to change there for a moment. Watch Craig Knock here limp around missing the front wing, and he'll drop to 6th place, as he will have a fairly large amount of time to make up. Connor Hannock.
Suddenly, I just noticed that Billy Targi is actually on the medium tires. He pit that second time. He's on them now.
Not to mention, Billy Targi is currently standing on the podium.
On the podium, and currently, because of those mediums, he's faster than McIntosh. You might be able to pass him going down the back straightaway in a minute.
Doesn't help that it looks like Tyler's struggling, and I think what Tyler needs to remember here is his biggest championship rival is not a threat at the moment. He needs to just... if I'm Tyler right now, I'm letting him go. Craig Knock is out of this race, and we're going to ride along with Dylan Swiss Carpenter and see if we can see what happened. I'm assuming that there's going to be a crash here in the pit road entry. I think he might have gone a little deep and hit the pit road entry. I can't tell, though. Or maybe he just retired in the pits. We have a yellow in Sector 1. It was a yellow in Sector 3 to start with. I'm not entirely sure why it's a yellow in Sector 1. I couldn't see anything riding along with Dylan Swiss Carpenter, and the yellow's gone, so maybe we will never know. Tyler McIntosh might be in trouble here. I'm going to take a look here. It looks like his wing's still all good, but he has let Connor Hannock go. He seems to really be struggling with the rear of that car on the hard compound tire, and this is not really going to be what he wants, but he's not really putting the pace on the way that I was really expecting him to. But still, we're still quite early in this race. It just seems like we're a lot further, because this is not distance-wise, they're all about the same distance-wise, but time-wise, this is one of the longest races of the season. Singapore typically takes a lot longer to get around than most other tracks due to its tight corners and due to that distance regulations, it takes a lot longer for this race than any other one on the schedule.
The average speed of Singapore, lowest second only to Monaco, if I'm not mistaken. And
you would be correct. You would be correct.
Putting on the mediums and a new wing, so I think it might have just been literally both. Just like a 1-2 punch of problems. I think he might have had wing damage that we just couldn't see. On top of probably not being very comfortable on those hards.
Speaking of comfortable, Dylan Swiss Carpenters just set the fastest lap of 39.0, which tells me we are running at an even slower pace than I thought we were running. I thought we were running 36s.
No,
we are not.
In AF1 yet.
So, we're going to redo that calculation quickly.
We're going to take 5 minutes for 3 laps. So...
How many laps to go are we at? 17 or 16?
We're basically at 16.
16.
This isn't far from starting the next lap.
So we're at 26.5 minutes left, which puts us at about 3:30 Eastern, which will give us about 30 minutes to get set up for AF1. So Riker, you're going to be really just commentating for like 4 straight hours. I'm sure you're excited for that.
Better than driving. These curbs, I'd rather be talking than driving.
And this is one-time ARC Formula 1 race winner Riker Lummel commentating from the booth. Your 2016 ARC Formula 1 Season 2 Mexican Grand Prix winner.
Yeah, it's... The F1 games are not for me anymore. I'm not that precise. And the curbs are death, and I'm not good in... I prefer a bit of durability in my cars, so... I don't want to lightly nudge somebody under a safety car and, oh, there goes your wing, so you're getting a penalty and a broken wing. Have fun!
Speaking of wing, Connor Hannock is in. He's taken the wing off to replace it, as well as our favorite graphical glitch where he's taken off his helmet and is now driving, putting all of his trust in the FIA's mandated halo. And, yeah.
Going, that'd be probably like James Hunt mode there.
Everyone else has their helmet on, luckily enough.
Now we've really hit the kind of dull part of this event. There's, got fields spread like mayonnaise, until we get our next DNF, I don't really think there's going to be much to comment on.
Do you want to play a game of, who do we think is going to be the next DNF? You've got about a 20% chance of nailing this one, Riker.
Connor Hannock just fixed his wings. I'm going to guess he's probably not really on center right now. He's probably going to be the next.
Okay. And then I'll pick one, and then you'll pick another. And then I'll pick another, and then whoever we don't pick is going to be the one to crash.
Okay, well then this is... flip the rules on me.
But yeah, we're on lap 17 now.
ARC rule changes. We can't even make a mini game without changing the rules.
I like to shake it up. Give me ARC broadcasts, but with a little bit of spice.
Luckily, my comedy style is improv. I can't read off a script. We noticed this from the very beginning of the stream when we rehearsed and I still messed it up.
I think I'm gonna have to give you a script by the end of this. We're down to 2 people watching this stream, I believe, if that's... Oh, 3 people watching this stream. Thank you to our viewers watching this. Not the most exciting race at the moment. But, yeah. I think Billy Targi might actually have a problem here, because he was gaining some pace and then started dropping off. He was at about 8 seconds and got up to about 7 and then dropped off to 10. So I don't know if those mediums are hitting the cliff, or if he's knocked his wing, or if he's just not as comfortable in the later stages as... he was earlier, but he doesn't seem like he's making that pace that he was earlier. And actually, speaking on that, Tyler McIntosh has already made up about 8 seconds on him since pitting on the medium, and that is very quickly dropping. It does help that Formula 1 tires wear like pencil erasers, so that's that's something also. And I'm just going to check the ARC Formula 1 or ARC Formula 2 chat and see what everyone's saying. Adam's reasoning for his DNF. The tires were shot. Typically spinning 4 times on the first lap will do that.
Hot Wheels! Beat that!
Joseph Cozy, Craig Knock have both said that the damage model is the reason for their crashing, and Matthew Stotts after his crash has uttered the word GG.
Check my hand, check my hand. It's like a fighting game tournament thing. So, I'm enjoying this time trial session so far. This is starting to look like an actual Formula 1 race now.
Oh, come on now. Let's not be like that. Every race this year has been very good compared to this.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This one's looking like an actual Formula 1 race, because the other ones didn't.
What do you mean?
It's boring, and half the people watching turned off their TV by now, or went to watch, like, Desperate
No,
Housewives.
I'm saying actual F1 is not this bad.
That's only because we've got flipping, keeping up with the Kardashians over there at Mercedes versus Red Bull.
No, the racing's actually been good this year. This is not a debate that you should be even commenting on if you don't watch it. I don't feel like you're really
17
watching.
17 through 19, F1.
It's still not that bad. If you could make it through 2014 to 2016, then
I did not.
Well, exactly. 2017 was a good year. 2018 was a good year. 2019 was awful, and I can't even lie. But the back half of 2019 was pretty good. 2020 was phenomenal, and 2021 has been better yet. 2021 is the best season since 2012. So I don't want to hear your bad opinions, Riker. Thank you.
Meme review. As unfortunately, my view on what F1 normally looks like was my most watched season was 2019, so that's kind of been a permanently thing ingrained in my brain of, oh yeah, this is usually boring, and 2021's been the exception, so it's not a bad opinion, it's an opinion that's, like, misinformed because I forgot.
Bad opinions.
You're a bad opinion.
I was a horrible opinion, Riker. Tire performance graph comes up. Billy Targi's tires falling off a cliff as Ollie Durston still 18% on the rear, so his tires are looking healthy. He's feeling pretty good about that. We'll ride along with Tyler McIntosh, who seems to be setting some real flyers here, but the real question is, can he keep it under him on the medium tire with 11 laps left?
For whatever dumb reason, I've had the position change detail on my
Oh, we have a yellow! Connor Hannock is out of the race! He was right! Wrecker called the crash! And we have a full safety car.
Rack the 4 cars back up. Oh my god.
Okay.
Is this Need for Speed Underground? Like, we just got a 4-car field now.
So, what's been your favorite part about this race?
Definitely not the safety cars.
You don't like this?
I think the one lap we had of actually people trying to pass each other into the back straightaway was the only action we've had, so...
This is a long race, Riker. And it's too hot.
It's like AEC, but without fenders on the cars.
AEC because there's a lot of crashing because of the distance, or because there's 4 drivers racing?
Yes!
Speaking of that, to plug the other series, Auto Racing Connected offers Formula One racing, 3 tiers next season starting in 2022 in January. Sign up for that via our website. Links in the channel banner on our YouTube if you're viewing from there. Check out our Auto Racing Connected Endurance Series. That will be moving to Wednesdays next season. That will debut in, I believe, April, potentially May. Not entirely sure on that. We also have GT3 starting in January. We have IndyCar starting in January, 16 rounds. And we have ARC NASCAR, which also pulls a bunch of people. That will be starting on the next NASCAR game, provided that the lobbies are all good to go. That's NASCAR 21 Ignition. If any of these things interest you whatsoever, please sign up via the link in our channel banner, join our Discord, and get signed up. And we will see you on the track. So, 11 laps left. Probably 9 to go when the safety car is in, because Ollie is still the only one caught up to the safety car. This has been quite the race.
You know what's bad when the safety car has made more laps in this race than half the field did.
Yeah.
That safety car should be given 2 points.
Safety car's leading a lot of laps at this moment in time.
I think we should legitimately have like a safety car point system that like if drivers cannot complete like enough laps that the safety car made more laps than them, then that's counted as race distance, and it'll end up scoring points if it's done more laps than people outside of the top 10. I'm very puzzled by Billy and Tyler opting for the soft compound. I don't think that these make 10 laps. Have we had any leaders in this race besides Ollie Durst? I don't think we have. Alright, co-commentator apparently has decided to fall asleep.
No, I'm here. I wasn't listening. I was zoned out. We have a massive rev of the engine from Ollie Durston.
Trying to get that VTEC to kick in, even though he's not on a Honda team. Basically, the joke I was making when you zoned out was pointing out that the safety car has run more laps than enough drivers, that it's technically, probably should be scoring points here. It has driven, I think it's going to be making its 8th lap around the track by the end of this safety car period. That's further than anybody that's further than Adam, Mo, and Joseph made it. And it's not even a racing car. And the safety car will be in this lap. Clearly I'm about to get my own warm-up here, going back to my own, solo commentary as my actual commentator has decided he's going to zone out. So he's better focus back in before you got a race in like half an hour. It's gonna be problems.
Currently, being the league owner is taking some toll on me, as I'm having to send sign-up links. So that's why I am not talking all that much at the moment.
You're back to green flag racing for the moment.
Awesome, there we go.
McIntosh has a huge run on Billy Prix, so he might get him into T1 here.
And Tyler McIntosh actually,
but he's ahead.
I believe Tyler McIntosh may have just picked up a penalty with that move. I don't know if that was there before.
That was there.
Was it there? Okay. I watched him go off the track a bit, so wasn't sure on that one. But yeah, Billy drops down to 4th. I'm sure he'll be wanting a podium because he was on for one prior to the safety car. Now that we're back to green flag racing, Ollie Durston's picked up where he left off and is now 1.3 clear of Tyler McIntosh, who's actually on the soft compound tire, which is like pretty... Yeah,
I was pointing that out. I don't think the softs can really get there from here.
No, it's certainly a move. I don't know if it's the right one, but it's certainly strategy.
Maybe he was out of mediums. I don't know.
Maybe. Oh my god. He almost hit the wall there on the corner. Right on the...
He almost didn't have to worry about his tires.
Yeah, he almost... that's about as close as you can get to hitting a wall without hitting a wall. And he's actually catching Ollie Durston rapidly right now. The gap down to 6.8, and he's going to follow through this section, the downforce section. If he can keep this within 0.4 of a second, he will potentially have a shot down this straightaway. And he's 4.8, now that's 6.0, 5.1. It fluctuates quite a bit through this sector since everybody's lines are a little different through here, especially when you're following another car. Tyler's going to send through this corner a pretty steady line. Fastest lap of the race, and that was on the safety car restart, mind you. So he, even not carrying the speed through that last corner, has got some speed. He's, more importantly, got to pull enough of a gap here to Ollie to null that penalty. And I don't know if that's going to be possible in 3 laps when these softs start to overheat. So he's going to have to just keep his car under him for that amount of time. And hopefully, with everything going well, he can make a move here for him. But genuinely, I think Ollie's going to be quite content seeing Tyler in his mirror on the soft tire. I don't think he's going to be all that worried about it.
Yeah, McIntosh's only hope here, I think, is if he can somehow manage to pressure Ollie Durst into making an error, but I'm not super convinced that'll happen.
It's not even about that, in my opinion. I think that Tyler's only actual hope at this point is he's got to keep those tires at a reasonable temperature until the DRS kicks in. I think if he can get by him under DRS, he can hold him off and take a defensive standpoint if he's easy on his tires, but I think that's going to be the really hard part in this race, is getting by him in the first place, because you're already starting to see it. He's dropping in the center of the corner, which on a softer compound tire is not where you want to be losing time. You want to be losing it... You don't want to be losing it at all, but like that's really not a place you want to be losing time. That's the part where you should be better. He actually got quite a bit better exit. You're already watching it. That tire is hot. He's overworking it quite a bit. I'm going to actually bring up the spectator menu, and we're going to see if we can see anything to do with the detail or anything here regarding the tires. We probably won't be able to see anything regarding that, but could be interesting to see.
Now, what's not helping is I'm seeing, as somebody who watches his share plays all the time, you know, friends with McIntosh, he tends to use overtake at times where he shouldn't be.
He's got 8% overtake
using
left.
the overtake before he'd gotten out of the last corner, and that's why he almost spun out. At least that's probably contributing to it anyway.
You can run overtake through that last corner, because it's not typically one you get on the throttle too hard. The issue is that as you come up off that corner, you're going up a slight incline, and then it flattens out. Because when the track was built, it wasn't built in such a way that it was... It doesn't follow the city streets, for example. It's just, it was built to be a paddock area, and then that's basically just a ramp up to the paddock area with the pit straight and stuff, so, yeah. Reminds me a lot of turn 7 and 8, maybe 8 and 9 at Sepang, Malaysia. I quite like corners like that where you send it in and then wash out to the outside and then dip back to the inside again to take a corner. Obviously Sepang's version of that is the other direction and a fair bit slower than that corner. I'd be interested actually to see in a 2021 car how fast you'd be able to take that corner.
You probably get a lot of G-forces.
I miss Malaysia. Unfortunately, I really don't think there's any hope of that track ever coming back.
I'm mostly indifferent to that track.
I would.
It's like, I mean,
I would
I get
much rather.
just...
I would much rather have Malaysia on the calendar than any of the following circuits: China, Russia, Jeddah, Yas Marina. Honestly, Coda. That might be an unpopular opinion.
Nah, I can't disagree with that one though.
I'd even go as far as to say
China.
I'd even go as far as to say I'd rather have Malaysia than Imola. Imola's just not good for modern cars. Barcelona.
Does it hear my unpopular opinions? I'd rather have Malaysia over Mexico and France and Monaco.
France, that was a good one, yeah. Monaco, you need to stop. I don't like your opinions anymore. So we get down to 4 laps to go? 5 laps to go. 7, 8, 9, 10, 5. 5 laps to go. And we're gonna watch Ollie Durston pull at a gap of 5 seconds. Tyler McIntosh.
Oh, Swiss Carpenter is just DNF'd on the inside curb of 2. I literally watched that happen.
That is going to be a rip. And we're going to a full safety car. This is the moment that I said at the start of the race. The soft tire is the tire you want to take. This is why you save a soft tire.
And I don't think that, I highly doubt that McIntosh has one left.
I want to see Billy Targi win. I want to see it.
I would die laughing.
I just want to see him win. I think he has done a really good race. He has kept a decent pace to the leader, and most importantly, he's not made a single mistake all race. He's just been focused. His focus level has gone up.
He and Ollie are like the only drivers that can say that in the field right about now.
I am loving this.
I'm gonna have like a 20-minute. I just watched Durston get a penalty under safety car. So he put 2 tires on the inside curb, going through that left part of that first chicane there. Durston's staying out. McIntosh obviously going in. And Billy will follow him right in there. I'm really surprised that Ollie did not go in, considering I'm sure he's got a set of softs sitting around. And we're gonna be restarting with like literally 2 to go.
It's gonna be a green.
Green, white, checkered.
Wow. We are so close to the end of this race. This has certainly been, if nothing else, a race.
It is definitely one of the ARC races we've ever had.
It is one of the ARC races. For sure. I am very surprised that Ollie did not take a soft tire, and I'm not entirely sure why he didn't take a soft tire.
Yeah, I was just saying that if he would pay attention for a minute.
I'm sorry, I had in the span.
Over here.
In the span since you talked, Riker, I had 2 sign-ups.
Stonks. Great, more names for me to remember.
This isn't a league you commentate. Don't worry.
I still gotta remember the names.
Do you?
Gotta remember to be ticked at them if they wreck me.
I mean, to be fair, all the names have PSNs beside them now, so not that hard to remember anymore. Billy Targi catching up to the pack here. He's going to be on the soft, and most importantly, he's going to have to try and cool that soft down, because that's going to be really important.
Hilariously, if he can stay close, he will literally get the win off of penalties.
That is pretty hilarious. The funny part is there's going to be another entire lap of safety car.
Yeah, because Targi is not even here yet. His name looks like Target, so I pronounce it like Target, but it's not.
Thank you, Riker, for this incredible dissection of the English language. Okay, so we're going to start. We're going to have a lap 30 and 31 shootout with 3 cars.
This is like the ending of the first Cars movie, pretty much.
Yeah.
And now for a word from our sponsors.
I've just given everybody in the ARC Discord the go-ahead to join our stream and watch a 3-car shootout happen. So for anybody who's missed what's happened in this race, if you're joining now, there was a significant amount of crashing that has happened. A significant amount. We had Adam Pelt crash on the first lap by spinning into a wall. Mo, I believe, just overshot a corner. He was in the wall. Joseph Cozy, we passed him. He was in the wall. Connor Setchell, out of the last corner, overcooked the tires, spun it in the wall. Lap later, Matthew Stotts, same thing, same place. James Sands, while catching the safety car on a fresh hard tire, spun it into the wall. Craig Knock, same deal, but it was a fresh medium, spun into the wall. Connor Hannock, I didn't actually catch his. I do know he crashed. Dylan Swiss Carpenter, about 3 laps ago, we watched him go into turn 2 and hook the curb and spin into the wall and lose a wheel. So now we're down to 3 cars. Ollie Durston leading the pack on an old medium, while the rest of them, those being Tyler McIntosh and Billy Targi, on a fresh soft, and we're going to go and ride along here with only 2 laps to go. Tyler McIntosh gets a little bit wide in that last corner heading to the start. Obviously the softs are a little bit cold. I don't know if the soft tire is going to hold on this long. Obviously the tires tend to overheat quite severely here at Singapore. We're headed down the straight now, obviously no DRS, so it's just going to be a straight shootout. We're going to see who's actually got the ability to pass here. I think this is going to spell bad news for Ollie Durston, who's on an 8-lap-old medium tire. But if Tyler McIntosh wants to make this work, he's going to have to do it ASAP on this soft tire. He's only got a little bit of time left. Billy Targi, keeping in mind the penalty situation at the moment, there's 3 seconds, so what Billy Targi has to do is he just has to keep up with these guys. If they start battling, this could be very good news for him. He might be looking at picking up his first victory in this series. As we go through the sling and across the Anderson Bridge here, we're going to head off into this corner. Tyler McIntosh getting a little bit closer to him, just a little bit off. He just needs to pick up that slipstream, and he's going to go through this section of chicanes here. And this section is all about following and keeping that grip. He's using a lot of overtake. We'll ride along with Ollie Durston now. He's not using any overtake at the moment. Tyler McIntosh catching up And this is the section that matters, is how close he can stay. He's right on the back of Ollie Durston, glued to the rear. He steps a little bit wide there. Is that going to be wing damage? It could be. We don't know. Obviously, there was no visual damage. It was pretty close, though, Riker. We gotta watch for that. A little bit wide in that corner. Is he going to cook it? He nearly lost it there. That's a 36.8, our fastest lap of the race. Headed off into turn 1 now. He's not going to be able to do it there, but remember, there's a big straight coming up. He's just got to keep it really close, and then Ollie's got to do his best to defend. I'm not really sure if he's going to have enough to do it here. These softs overheat really hard, and the last thing he wants to do is overcook it.
Yeah, no, the slipstream isn't this strong, not on an aero-dependent track like this.
He takes a little peek to the inside, but he's not going to be able to do it there. If he's going to want to do it, he's probably going to have to send a surprise one. I'm not sure that there's a good place to do it here for the rest of the lap. The only place I can think of is...
you could do it and not crash.
I think he's going to have to try one in the Anderson Bridge. He's going to have to get a little bit closer and see if he can get one around the outside of that corner, and hope that Ollie Durston isn't aware of what's coming. But he's not close enough to do one this time. That's the only good overtaking spot I can think of here for the last part of this lap. This straightaway, obviously there's a lot of grip out of this last corner, and they do a little bit of a stack up, and then they spread out of the corner. So the real question, Tyler McIntosh picks up another penalty. That will spell the end to his race, unfortunately, I believe, unless Ollie Durston picks up one of his own here.
I don't even know if that would matter. I think he would have to literally crash you.
Tyler really is going for it, but this is going to be Ollie Durston's first win of the season. Tyler McIntosh nearly losing it out of the corner, but we're going to ride with Ollie Durston crossing the line. Victory spin, and he has won this race, his first of the season, first for SHR Esports in the Formula 2 division, and yeah, what a race.
Billy Targi on the podium, just very unusual.
I agree with that driver of the day. I agree with that driver of the day. He kept his nose clean. He didn't do a foot wrong all race. Everyone else crashed. I think if you're the guy who can keep your nose clean for the entirety of the race while everyone else is crashing, you deserve driver of the day. Consistency is just as important as outright pace when it comes to a track like Singapore, and I think that that's an important thing to remember when it comes to racing. If you're fast and you can't keep it out of the wall, then you're not that fast.
You're not really going any faster than anybody else. You'll just be hitting the wall at a higher speed.
So yeah, as we come to the driver results here, we'll take a screenshot of this finishing order. For anybody who tuned in at the end of that race who missed us explaining it, basically what happened, Adam Pelk spun on lap 1, crashed out. Mo Altai in 11th crashed out a few laps later. A few laps after that, we saw Joseph Cozy hit the wall and crash out, bringing out a safety car. Then on the safety car restart, Connor Setchell, bringing them back to the start-finish line, hits the inside wall after overcooking the tires. Only a lap later, Matthew Stotts does the exact same thing, and then that brings out another safety car. Then we saw James Sands catching up under that same safety car, bring the end to his own race. Same happened to Craig Knock, and then Connor Hannock and Dylan Swiss Carpenter had similar ends to their races, with Dylan Swiss Carpenter looping it in turn 2, leaving the top 3 finishers to be the only 3 finishers, and the 3 that were able to keep their car in one piece. So congratulations to them. Congratulations to Ollie Durston on his first win of the ARC Formula 2 season. It's going to be huge for his championship chances, especially with Connor Setchell having a 2-point outing. He'll make up 7 points on Tyler McIntosh as well. And yeah, it's just going to be a big turnaround, I think, for the SHR team, who's had some struggles here in the past few races. So yeah, we're not that far away from ARC Formula 1, actually. We're only about 10 minutes out from the lobby creation of ARC Formula 1. So if you are interested in watching, Riker Lommel here, our star commentator for ARC Formula 1.
Is going to hate me.
Drink some water, Riker. Drink some water.
Out of water.
Dehydration.
Dehydration.
We had to get that in there. That's an inside joke. So anyway, if you if you're interested in watching the end of this and not the end of this, the end of the evening of ARC Formula 1 racing, then tune in about 20 minutes to ARC Formula 1 qualifying, and we will see you again. I'll be taking part in the race. Riker will be your lead commentator, and yeah, see you guys then.